guys, so it's been way too long since I've done a video, and I apologize for that, but I'm hoping to do better now that I've kind of gotten caught up with some of my work stuff, and winter seems to be coming here. So hopefully I have a little bit more time to work on our projects here. Since the last video I made, I've had a bunch of changes. I know I didn't give a lot of updates as far as what the plans were with the Nagaro S4, but whatever I did say, most of that probably has completely changed. So I'm going to just kind of start over from the beginning. I'm going to be introducing some of my new projects and kind of going over what I'm planning to be doing here in the future. Okay, so I think if you watched the last video I had made, I would have been putting the injectors in my silver S4. I had just finished putting the new engine in that thing and was having the misfire and all that stuff. It ended up being quite an ordeal. Couldn't figure out where the misfire was coming from. Ended up changing some injectors and just simply couldn't figure anything out on it. So I had a trip planned to the East Coast, and I decided while I was in there I was going to swing by my tuner, which Mirza does an amazing job. And so I was just going to swing by there, do some dyno tuning, and hopefully fix the issue. I was thinking that the issue might just simply be in the tuning because I had swapped pretty much everything. We had put new plugs, coils, ICMs, a couple new injectors. So I pretty much had ruled out all the hardware stuff. Also had done fuel pump, new in-tank fuel pump. Did an injector cleaning, and nothing seemed to do it. I just always had a misfire under boost. So I made the trip in there. Everything went pretty good there. We put it on the dyno. I think it would have been Friday evening, and we thought a few of the coils were bad, so we put in some new coils. Fixed the misfire on, I think it was one of the cylinders, but we still had a misfire on number 3 we couldn't get rid of. We again changed all the coils, spark plugs, ICMs for probably about the 5th time, and messed around with it a couple of hours that evening, and finally decided it must simply be injectors. So I had a set of injectors overnighted, and one of my buddies was kind enough to let me use his shop. So I dropped the new set of injectors into it and still had a misfire on cylinder 3. So by then I was feeling pretty bummed, but I decided to go back up to the dyno and see what we could figure out. Again, we spent a couple hours working on it, tried all kinds of things. We never could quite nail down if it was a injector issue or a spark issue, because it ran great until you hit about 13, 14 pounds of boost, then it would start cutting out and missing. So we finally decided it must either be wiring harness or the coils. There was a few rumors going around that the factory coils and factory wiring couldn't handle stage 3. Never had confirmed it. Mirza never had that issue in all the cars he's tuned, and he's done probably thousands of them. So I ended up staying the night there. He was kind enough to pull a wiring harness off and a 2.0 coil conversion from one of the cars he had sitting around. So early Saturday morning, we dropped the coil conversion in, and boom, fixed the issue. Really no good explanation of why that fixed it, but it did. So again, we hit the dyno again. good numbers down after all that work. But ended up having a couple boost leaks. Throttle body O-rings were leaking around my up pipes, and we didn't have the wire. They didn't have the new O-rings for that, so we ended up having to skip that. Also had the check valve in the spider hose was letting boost into the crankcase, so therefore we weren't able to hit full boost. So all in all, at least we got the misfire fixed, although we didn't get too far on tuning. I needed to get home, and we didn't want to tear something apart that we didn't have parts to put back together on. So that was kind of disappointing, but the car made it back home again. And so yeah, I guess it was a good trip as far as that goes. A few hours before I got home, I went and hit a tire on the road, a semi tire, so it smashed up my exhaust, tore some wiring harnesses and stuff up underneath. So I'm currently waiting on insurance on that to hopefully get that fixed. So while all this stuff was going on with my silver S4, obviously wasn't getting much done on the Nagaro, which is part of the reason why you haven't seen it. It's pretty much been setting just the way you've seen it, other than getting the engine out. That's about all I've done, which is sad, I know, but I've been collecting parts and changing plans on it. The original plan was to do a single turbo on it. I picked up come across a good deal on a Precision 6262 ball bearing turbo. It was a good deal. I couldn't really pass it up. It was a little bigger than I was hoping to go with in the beginning, being as I just simply had a stock engine with rods, with the stock 2.7 heads. But the deal was pretty good, so I ended up scooping it up and figured that it would be okay with I was going to drop 2.8 cams into the stock heads, and figured it would do all right. As I kept thinking about it, I knew I would never really be happy unless I did 2.8 heads, with the full valves, valve springs, all the good stuff, to really get the full potential out of the turbo. But I was not really wanting to tear that freshly put together engine back apart to do the 2.8 heads. But it's kind of what I was figuring out to do because I had it. So while I was on the fence as far as what to do with the Nagaro, and if I wanted to go 2.8, full 2.8 heads, or if I wanted to just stick with dropping 2.8 cams into the stock heads and trying it, I came across well, actually it's the car right behind me here, this B7A4. I kind of been looking for one for a long time. My first Audi was an A4, a B7A4. Actually, my second car would have been a B7A4 too. So both of them, I would have done mild modifications to them. The first one was pretty much suspension in stage 1. The second one would have been pretty much all the normal stuff, suspension. Then it was full bolt on, stage 2, had exhaust. Had a custom downpipe with a B6 S4 catback, coilovers, upgraded high pressure fuel pump. So the car was really fun. It was quick, it wasn't necessarily fast, and I wanted a little bit more, so I was thinking about going big turbo on it. But with pricing everything out, I kind of decided that I'd be better off going to the B7 S4 or the B5 S4, which is when I got my silver one. So I've had a B5 for the last, I think it'd be going on 2 years now, but I always kind of like the B7. In my opinion, the B7 is one of the best Audi generations. It's incredibly solid, and I love the styling and everything of them. So I've always been kind of watching. I always figured if I'd ever come across a good deal on a B7 A4 or S4 with either a bad engine or high miles, I'd do a 2.7 swap on it. So while I was on the fence with all my Nagaro stuff, I came across this one right behind me. It's a little bit higher miles, has almost 180,000 on it, but it was a one-owner car, incredibly clean, and I got it for an amazing price. So I decided now's the time to do the 2.7 swap on it. So it's kind of plan for it is to be my daily, hopefully, and so I'm hoping to make this into my daily. As you can see, it's in really good shape considering it has 180,000 miles on it. Very minimal rust, slight, just a few little dings here and there. And being an 08, it's the S-Line or special editions, being this is actually not the S-Line interior. But at least I got the S-Line exterior. So you'll probably be seeing a bunch of stuff as I build this one. It is silver, but the main thing I was looking for is 6-speed. It is 6-speed and I wanted a black interior. So it pretty much had all the options I really wanted. Obviously I really wanted a black interior. I love the it's got the headlight, the good headlights, I think it's the AFR or whatever they call that. Doesn't have memory seats, but it's pretty nice. I think it'll be a good platform to do a swap on. So you'll probably be seeing a lot more of this one on the channel. Really excited to have a 2.7 in the B7. So now that I got this car, that solved a few things that I've been wanting to do. So been wanting to get a B7, A4 or S4 Avant, and they are pretty tough to find, especially when you're looking for a 6-speed. So silver obviously wouldn't have been my choice of color, but it had the options and the interior, and at the price I picked it up at, I would have been foolish to pass it up. So I scooped it up, and so now the plan, what I'm hoping to do is use that 2.7 that I got with the rods in, just stick with the stock heads, and throw some KO4s and E85 on it and see what E85 can do on KO4s. It should be a torque monster. With not having to worry about rods, you can just let her have all the torque it can right at the low end. So it should be an incredibly fun street car, and should be a ton of fun, should be very reliable. So that's what we're going to be doing. You'll probably be seeing quite a bit of this in the near future. I'm hoping to get this thing done in the winter here. Hopefully getting the original, the 2.0 out here in the next few weeks, and then I'm going to be the plan is to pull the drivetrain out of my silver S4. I picked up a stock 2.7 that I'm going to be dropping into that, returning that car pretty much back to stock in order to sell it, and then use most of the upgraded parts that are on that car on the B7 here. So thanks for watching. I'm going to try to upload a few videos of the dyno. Fortunately, the numbers weren't that great, but it was still great to see the car actually made it to the dyno. And hopefully I'll have a little bit more consistent videos for you in the future. Thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please give the video a big thumbs up and follow for the updates. I think we're going to have a lot of great content coming up. So we'll see you next time.